Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Confidence Leads to Success. Today, we have got Chris Quintana from States. She is joining us, and I totally have a woman crush on her. She is just phenomenal, and she has got so much to tell us because, as women, we always try to get our financial freedom. And as we get older, I mean, I personally would like to talk about myself that we want to make sure that our future is really covered and we don't have to worry about our future. And knowing that I will, if I get if there is something happens that I can't work or I don't want to work, I always have that feeling of, well, I have that future that I will feel confident. And that is also very important in women's and anyone's life, females and male. And Chris, she is on a mission to help everybody have that mindset, that free of mind, to not worry about their future financially. And she started this business and she's doing amazing stuff. Hi Chris, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today.
Welcome. I would love you to introduce yourself to our guests and your book. I'd love you to tell us about your book and how did you come out with this idea and what satisfaction you get out of doing this.
Sure. My name is Chris Quintana, and I am a financial strategist and financial advocate for women. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, but I actually help women all over the place. Finances are something that we're not taught in school, and there's a reason for it. And that really is the reason why I decided to write my book, because my book is called The Less You Know, the More They Make. And it's true, because the less we know, the more the financial institutions make off of us. There is so many, they don't like to call them loopholes, but I call them loopholes. There's a lot of ways that they're able to make money off of us just by not knowing. We don't know what we don't know. And that's really the reason why I wrote the book.
So when you say less you know, the more they make, what do you mean by that? I
Well,
know, by the way, but I'd like you to share it with the audience.
well, I like to flip the script on that and make it to where the more you make, the less, or the more you know, the less they make off of you. So it's an example of that would be, credit cards, or the rule of 72. If you've ever heard of the rule of 72, it can work for you or against you. The rule of 72 is basically the formula for compound interest. So it's an easy way for you to know how long it's going to take for your money to double. So if you have your money sitting in the bank and it's paying, let's just say 1% for easy math, even though we know the banks aren't even paying 1% these days. What is 1 into 72? 72. 72, it takes 72 years for your money to double. So we're taking that 1% that we're making on our money and we're taking it into 72.
Wow.
So if you can find a place for your money to actually make more than 1%, then you'll be doing good. However, I've been taking, for the last 14 years, I've been doing research and implementing the different things that I have learned myself. And the more that I've learned about the financial industry, the more I've I have to tell people about these different hacks, or because our financial system is actually designed to work against us. We don't really even know it, but another example of that is the banking system. Okay. They use that rule of 72 to work for them. If you have a credit card, you pay interest on your credit cards. How much? I ask everybody to think about that. How much is your highest interest rate credit card? And so many people, when I ask them, they don't even know what the interest rate is on their credit cards. They don't, because we've never been taught to even look at that. but that is very important to look at that interest rate that we're paying and the interest rate that we're being paid for our money. And my goal is to teach people how to be on the other side of that. Learn
Why
to
did
be
you
like the bank.
decide to do that? So because I mean, I ever since I gained my financial freedom, I felt more confident as a woman. I stood up to my father to begin with. I just stood up and said, "This is it. I'm not living the life you tell me. I'm gonna, even if I have to struggle." Which meant I was waitering, I was babysitting, I was au pairing, but I rather earned my own money and have my freedom
Right.
than be in control of somebody. And I left, so I know the importance of that financial freedom. But the way you approach to your clients and how you help them is very good, because we all work for our future, and we all work for our health, and we all work for our quality of our life. And
Correct.
instead of doing like the other way around, you just would like to help them. Why is that? What makes you, what drives you behind this?
Well, the reason why I even got into this type of this field is because I was taken advantage of by a financial professional. I knew I had lost my job in 2011, and I wanted to diversify. I had created financial freedom, but I never even thought about financial freedom. You know, I was just like, we're taught to go to work and that's what we do. I mean, so I was working, but I saved my money and I bought properties that were assets that were paying me every month. And so, you know, I was able to, all the money that I was making at my job, I was saving. So I was able to be, anytime there was opportunities that came around, I had the opportunity. People would tell me I'm lucky, and I'm like, no, it's not luck. I mean, I guess I'm lucky if you say when opportunity meets preparation, because I was pretty much prepared for any great opportunities that came my way. And then 2000, during the, actually, I thought I was going to skate right through the recession with my job. And I lost my job at the end, basically at the end of it. But during that time, I was able to start traveling. I was doing things that people were, when I lost my job, instead of going back, I'm like, I've always wanted to go to Indonesia, to the jungles. I've always wanted to travel, and I've never been able to travel, because if I'm going to go all the way across the world, I don't want to just be there for 2 weeks. I want to be there for a month or whatever, you know, and you can't do that when you have a regular job. So, and when I came back from my trips, my friends were asking me, my colleagues, people
Wow.
that I was working with before, they were like, why are you doing that? Like, the whole world is stressing out right now about the finances, what's going on in the financial world, and you're traveling like nothing. And I'm just thinking, you know, that's true. It really is true. And the difference is that, you know, I had friends that were millionaires, and I mean, they made millions of dollars every year, but guess what? They spent millions of dollars every year. They were spending. So I realized that I was just doing something different than they were, you know, and they were actually coming to me for help. They're like, how are you doing this? And that's when I realized that I knew something that
So you
other,
found your gift, and you're giving it away rather than just selfishly using it by yourself. It's so nice.
well, you know, it's interesting because before that, I didn't know what my gift was. I mean, it sounds kind of funny, but I felt like, man, when God was handing out gifts, he did not give me any gifts. He skipped me, because I'm like, I don't know how to sing. I don't know how to dance. I'm not good at, you know, it was just like, I couldn't find anything that I felt really good about. So I didn't really have a purpose. I was just like living life. And when I was able to start helping people with their finances and seeing like how they can turn things around, and actually be able to retire people that didn't even know that they could retire, just based on looking at what they had and making some adjustments that I had learned about. And, you know, just being able to, those small tweaks made a huge change for them.
It does. Very important. Yeah.
It is, and it was real exciting for me. I mean, helping wealthy people is great. I mean, there's a lot of money in helping wealthy people, but I mean, it really, really, really makes me feel good when I can help somebody that doesn't have a lot. For example, I had a client that didn't have a whole lot of money. He had, I mean, like for retirement, he was retired, but he only had like a little over $200,000. $200,000 is not very much to retire on. I mean, they tell us that we need at least $1 million. And how many people have even near $1 million?
No.
Well, if you know how to make the system work for you, you don't need $1 million to retire. And you don't have to wait till you're 65. In America, at 65 for a retirement is when you can start retiring without paying any kind of penalties. Well, it's 65, 66, up to 72. And so it's like we work our whole entire life and don't get to enjoy life. And so now my goal is to help people enjoy their life right now, starting right now. Let me show you how to change what you're doing. But one of the biggest things is that many people are not willing to do is I totally believe in expanding your means, like making your money do triple time, but sometimes there's a little area, like a year or so, to like get everything like on track and get rid of some of the really bad debt that they have. Because if you have a lot of bad debt, when I teach them how to understand the rule of 72 and how it's working against them, it changes something most of the time in their mindset of like buying things that they don't even care about, that they're still paying for 2 years later, 3 years later. And it is totally a new mindset, new way of thinking. But
so you bring in the certain things that people are doing into their conscious mind, so they're more aware of where they're spending their money and how they can actually make money from their money sitting there.
Right. I mean,
Very
it's like,
important, especially for as you get older. I mean, we've got a young child now. We're thinking of his future already and his education. And if you want him to have good education in a private school, which costs like arm and a leg, you could buy in the UK, you could buy a brand new detached house with the price that you would spend on a child's education. Annie's laughing there. I can see her.
well, you know what is cool is, I don't know, I mean, how much does it, I mean, do you pay like for the whole year, or how does it work?
It costs termly. I think I was looking at for Brighton College, where we are in East Sussex in the UK. The per term cost about £4,000, and you have three terms, and that price keeps going up every year.
So it's
So it's about 12,000 a year, and if you count how many years they're going to go to school, I don't even want to think about it.
And these are elementary and junior high school kids? That's not even their college. So so it's really nice when you can show somebody how to. A lot of people are afraid of the stock market, so where do they keep their money? In the bank or under their mattress. And it's like the banks are paying nothing. If I can show them how to take that money that's sitting in their bank, turn it into like a quarterly payment for them. Like, for example, I mean, I have some clients that have had $100,000. Well, like that client, for instance, the one that had the $200,000, I was able to take his money and put it in a place where he is now making, every month he makes a check for $730, plus at the end of the year he gets a check for $8,000.
Wow.
So and he left 50,000 in his bank, so he felt safe. But it was just that turned his world around, because now, instead of living like so like kind of miserly, like not spending on anything, not traveling, not taking his wife for vacation or anything like that, he didn't want to do that, because it was just it was very stressful. The money is very tight, because he was living off his Social Security and his little retirement. And so it wasn't enough money. And now it gives him an extra $730 a month.
Which you wouldn't get it from keeping it in the bank.
You wouldn't get it from keeping it in the bank. I mean, who makes $730 on having their money in the bank? Like how much money you got to have in the bank to make that much? It's insane. But so, and then the $8,000 when he gets it at the end of the year, if he's got a project around the house, or if he wants to take his wife and family to like a really amazing vacation, you know, it's like he gets to start living now. He doesn't have to worry about like not having enough money. And the thing is with him, he was nervous, so he only signed like 1-year contracts on everything. The longer contracts, the more you could make a month. You know what I'm saying? Like if he did a 3-year contract, he would actually be making $1,000 a month, and then his $8,000 at the end of the year. So it's just, there's lots of cool things out there that I just want to share with everybody.
That's so good. So do you also help women who are not quite sure with their finances and what to do with it, not just for investment case, in terms of how to place it, how to spend it, how to save, by just jigging around certain things?
I do actually. I even have an online course that I do that just really takes women like through their mindset, because you cannot change anything if the mindset is not right.
Yeah.
If you have a negative mindset when it comes to money, like if you grew up with a certain way of thinking, it
Money
just
doesn't grow on trees.
Right. It just goes with you all through life.
It actually does. Money made out of paper and wood, and it actually grows on the tree.
Right. Well, yes, I do. I love to help. I mean, that's what I actually had been doing for the last like 10 years, probably, is just helping women create a spending plan. I don't like to call it a budget, because I think it makes it feel so
Limiting.
very limited, you know. And it's like, if you give them a spending plan and I show them how to spend it on, you get this much money, you decide how much money do you really need every month to just play and spend however you want. Let's make you an account just for that. And then
I think that upbringing, the way most people, I can't generalize it, but a lot of us have that scarcity of spending all. If you spend all your money, you'll be out of your money, and you will never have enough, and you'll never have enough money. And that the scarcity, kind of that mindset, like you say, actually stops your even potential to earn more. I mean, one of my clients, she has a product-based business, and she was worried about every month even being able to pay her bills and pay her staff and pay. It was every month, just like age to age. And it's the mindset, because she's always believed that she could only have enough to get by, because that's how she always believed, how she grew up with that. And I know how that feels like, because I was like that myself. But once you shift that mindset, so I say to her, look, all you need, so I've changed the whole look about her mindset about money, and how much money do you really need per month that you would feel comfortable? And we put it down, but she thought it was so much money. And I just walked her backwards, and she said, is that all I need? Is that the only, like, that many customers I need? I can't believe it. And then her mindset shifted, and now she's tripled her takings, and she can't even believe that it happened, because she believed, once she saw it on the paper and being like in her paper, she only needed to reach out to 17 people to sell average of certain sales a day, which is possible.
right.
She could see that was possible, but that mindset is very important. So if you want to have that the wealthy lifestyle, that you don't have to delay your life, why would you?
That's so true. Annie, I have to ask you a question. When I'm looking right here at Elif, does it look like I'm looking the opposite direction of her? I feel like I'm looking the wrong way at you, Elif.
It
So,
doesn't matter. When we put it on YouTube, it only shows whoever is speaking on the camera. So it
okay,
doesn't
okay,
matter.
cool. All
And
right.
people are listening anyway. They're not looking while we're looking. If they
Okay.
do,
You look
they're not
great.
in the right place.
You
Okay.
look
All right.
great.
Thank you. So yeah, that's it. Really is. You got to start with a mindset, and then we start with like looking at their numbers. Like, let's see how much is coming in. We need to know your cash flow. We need to know what's coming in and what's going out. And then there's for many people that are living pretty much paycheck to paycheck, we have to, you know, rearrange some stuff so that we can actually be putting something away. Like, what are you wasting your money on? You can either make more money, you can either learn to make more money, or we need to like drop some of these things that you're wasting because we need to start putting some money to work for you. Or you're going to work till you're 90. And most people don't want to work till they're 90. I know
I don't mind working till I'm 90, but I don't want to stress about money. I don't think I'll ever retire in that sense, but I'd like to know that I am doing it to serve, not to survive.
Exactly. And you know what? That's where I am right now. Basically, I work because I not because I have to, but because I want to help other people be able to experience the same freedom, because it's something that you can't even, I mean, it's hard to even explain, that you don't have to worry when you go to the store.
I know how passionate you are to help people when we talk. I can see it in your like, well, I really need to help more people because I can save them so much more money and give them better lifestyle by just having the money they own.
Well, one of the things that got me really was I didn't really understand why it seemed like you're always like striving, you know, you're no matter what you're doing, no matter how much you're working, you're always it's like you can never reach the finish line no matter what. And it's because our financial system is made that way. It moves away from you. You know what I'm saying? The more you make, the more you spend, the more you know, it's like there's no
vicious circle.
And there's no education on it. And I know that that's on purpose. And that's really what drives me, is it's like, no matter how hard people work, they're not going to reach their goal if they don't understand the rules. They're playing a game. Money is a game. I believe it is a game. Once you learn how to make your moves, it's a game. And if you don't know the moves, you're going to lose every single time. If you do win, it's luck, and it's not going to last long because your mindset's not right. And it's like, I've seen people win the lottery. I've seen people win huge like lawsuits, and the money's gone like within a year. All of it's gone. I'm like, what in the world? And now they're in a worse place than they were before, because now they can't afford to pay the taxes on the home that they just bought, or they can't afford, you know, it's just like, now they're in a worse place because they had a house that was paid for, but they moved up in the world. And I don't know, it is a vicious cycle. And I call it kind of a matrix. It's like you can take the red pill or the blue pill, and one of them is going to get you to the right place, and the other is going to just keep you lost. And most everybody's taking the one that's going to keep them lost.
That's so true. God, this is good. I'm going to ask you one last question, because I asked everybody. What does confidence mean to you?
Confidence means to me not having to worry about, like, when it comes to money. Confidence is not ever having to stress about money. You feel like you have a plan and it's working. When it comes to confidence, in general, it's just not worrying about what other people think and being able to just be you. And that's, I mean, I working on that myself right now.
Beautiful.
So
thank you so much, Chris. It was lovely having you.
Thank you for having me.